Hello everyone, nubkeks here. Welcome back to Nub Raids. We've got an early video here today on Monday because I logged into the game this morning and there's a couple of fun things on. So for instance, we are in the second half of this video. We're going to take the quiz. Can you answer our man's questions correctly? If we answer 5 out of 7, we'll get some really good rewards actually. A legendary skill tome, 250 multi-battles. Yeah, watch me get it wrong. It's very possible. I don't know how hard it's going to be. It's got to be interesting, going in totally blind, which is always fun. We also, though, let's talk about this first, have the anniversary summon pool event on right now. So I don't know if we jump over to the events calendar. Do we have any information? Okay, so the Sand Devil turn attack, not very accessible, unfortunately, but that is going to be a source of your prism crystals. I'm not seeing anything else, actually, unfortunately, that's going to give you any prism crystals, which actually really sucks because I think for a newer player, this would have been a great event, but it's going to be almost impossible to get prism crystals if they're just from Sand Devil. 7% chance for legendary, 93% epic with 30 pulls. But like if I come over here, one thing I think straight away about this is we have an absolute mass of champions in here. There are so many. So I really don't think, like, let's say Harima. Harima is S tier. Phenomenal for Hydra. Insane for Arena. Great. Cool. We'd love Harima. You're not gonna be hunting out prism crystals or really buying prism shards for this because there's, what, 14 legendaries in there. It's just not something you're gonna do. So that's how I look at it. Now, but as a lucky dip, as a random event, it's actually quite good. So let's say you're a newer player, you don't have many epics. There's a lot of really good ones in here. Mordecai is great. Geomancer is game changer. Doom Priest is great. Husk is great. Creodan, I think, is a game changer. We've got Skull Crusher, Taragi, Duck, Ugo, Seeker, Allure. So strong. Venomage is amazing. Ulfric's not bad, right? Magnar is great. Farrakhan, even Fane is good. Phoenix. You know, you've got a ton of phenomenal epics in there. So yeah, depending on how it goes, maybe they'll give us some free ones. Who the heck knows? It will be sad, but quite possible you won't get any ones really accessibly. But look, if you're a newer player, you've got a pretty good chance to get a good epic. And then if you were 7%, which is going to be a pretty big chunk of you, honestly, 7% of you, if you pull a shard, will get a legendary. That's a lot of viewers. If you were to get something, you've got a mix in here. Like, you've got some champions that are decent, but not absolutely insane. I'd say, like, Noct the Paralyzer. He's decent, but not insane. Though maybe if they rework Sand Devil a bit, he'd become really, really good. I'd say Bad Alcazar is quite darn decent. Actually, he's probably more than decent. You know, they're all going to open up stuff, but you've got Harima is S tier. I'd say Prince Kaimar is S tier. Newt is S tier. Nekmothar is S. Theodore is S. Valkyrie is S tier. You've got a ton of S tiers in here. And then, you know, this guy is great, especially for progression. The Ogre, I can't remember his name. Korrigar Deathbell, I do remember his name. Staltus is great. Dragon Hard, Arena, fantastic. Elva is amazing. Actually, I'd say Elva's S tier as well. Like, you've got a ton of really good champions in here. But it's just a big blob of champions. So, yeah, it's sort of like a lucky dip. And that's how I'd sort of look at it. Hopefully, people will get some free ones. And if you do get some free ones, you might walk away. You know, you might walk away with nothing. But a decent chunk of viewers would walk away with either a really good epic for their account, or a small chunk of viewers will get a good legendary for their account. And that's pretty cool, which is kind of what I like about the summon pools. Compensation gifts, excellent. Thank you very much. Okay, let's go then. Speaking of the gifts, let's try it. We have the quiz, the R-Man's quiz. Test your knowledge. Start quiz. Oh, easy. Which does this hat belong to? Sylar doesn't even have a hat. Luria doesn't have a hat. Rian, no hat. Madame Ceres has the hat. Yes, the green pig. Guess the champion from the silhouette. Okay, I was worrying about this for no reason, guys. That's obviously Arbiter. Hooray. Okay, anyone could do these. Guess the champion from the skill. Oh, it's getting a little bit harder. This is a bit harder now. Revives all. This is actually quite a lot harder. I'm thinking about a new player who would be going like, oh, I don't heckin' know. revives all dead allies with half HP and 75% turn meter. That's a big part of why it's so strong. That turn meter on revives is quite underrated. It just means that it can be hard to keep. If you bring someone back at 50% HP and no turn meter, you can be kind of stuck. It's very easy for them to just be killed. They come back with 75 or 100% turn meter like some revives, even full turn meter like some revives. They're kind of going to get a turn, and that can be really powerful. Also, she puts block damage with bombs, poison, or HP burn. That's quite an annoying one, actually. It's not even that important, but it's just annoying because it's Mariska, and it stops. It stops you being able to use, like bombs or burns to counter a Stone Skin Mariska. Quite annoying. Okay, guess the champion from the lore snippet. Oh, I actually might not know this one. This champion's life became one of relentless physical training, rigorous study, and unfailing religious devotion. Okay, so it's a sacred order, but, they're all sacred order, right? So not much help. They're a quick study in both the martial and the scholastic arts, and they amaze their tutors in every field. This champion's excellence alienated them from their peers, leaving their station atop their class, a lonely one, until the day this champion met Athel. Okay, so it's Inquisitor Shamael. I literally wouldn't have known who this was until that last line, but from Call of the Arbiter, Shamael and Athel were hanging out in, what was it, episode 2? I think episode 2 of Call of the Arbiter. Guess the champion from the description. Oh, this champion is outstanding at frustrating their opponents while also dealing out heavy damage. All of the above. This champion has an unbreakable bond with Mariska the Unbreakable. That's okay. Has vowed to protect her by retaliating against any enemy attacking her with their second skill. Okay, well that makes it Taris, but yeah, outstanding at frustrating opponents while dealing heavy damage. You know what? Candrafon's not frustrating. I think maybe as a new player back in the day, I say he probably was a bit frustrating because he was really strong. Like back when I started the game, he was one of the best because his defensive passive was just considered extremely good. How times have changed, though. Candrafon, he's still decent, but he's certainly not. There's been massive power creep since then. And now we've got defensive passives that are like Harima, which is like, haha, lol, you do like 1/3 of the damage that you normally do. Haha. But yeah, Taris, I'd say Taris, Helicath, and Rotus are all very frustrating. And I'll do... Helicath probably doesn't do heavy damage. I'd say Taris and Rotus do heavy damage. Helicath does decent damage. I'd say Candrafon can do heavy damage. And I'd say Taris, Helicath, and Rotus are all very frustrating to fight against. Guess the champion from their silhouette. That's Kale. I was like, which Kale is it? Which Kale? That's just regular Kale. I know people. Do you guys let me know? Do you guys re-roll? You guys re-roll in games like this? This seems to be a thing in gacha games. I have literally zero interest. Like, you would have to physically pay me probably about €50, to re-roll an account. Maybe more. You might have to be like, 80 to €100. And be like, okay, fine, bloody hell, I'll re-roll. I'll start again. But like, I really don't like re-rolling. I started with Galek. He's certainly not the best starter, but he's totally fine. And me and Galek, we had a great time. Obviously, Kale is the best. I didn't start with Kale. I just picked the one I thought was coolest, and I played the game, and that's how I did it. Guess the champion in the description. This champion is often the leader of teams fighting against the Demon Lord. They have a chance to decrease enemies' defense, as well as stun them, making them incredibly useful for dealing with minion waves in the dungeons. So this would be Fushan, right? He is often... I don't have him, but yeah, he's very common with the Demitha teams, Speed Aura. He's got good damage and decreased defense. He does have the stun, which is not good for Demon Lord, but yes, it is good for mini waves and dungeons. You wouldn't see him in dungeons very often, I will say. Definitely not I would associate with being a dungeon champion, but it's Fushan. So we got it all correct. Pop in your UID. Oh, look, if I got it wrong, one of you guys would no doubt have come in and graciously done it for me. Maybe someone's already done it for me. No, none of you did this for me. You guys could have taken my user ID, my number, from any of these. I show it all the time in videos, and you could have absolutely trolled me. You could have given me this free stuff. Actually, no one would be worrying. Bloody hell. You could come in, get it wrong, and put in my number. And they'd be like, fucking nut braids, got them all wrong. No prize for him. I wonder. if you really want to put, you can retake it as you want to get a perfect score, but you only get the, okay. So you could go again if you got it wrong, but you don't need to because you watched this video and now you know all the answers. Well, maybe you did get it wrong. You can take all the answers from this video. Advanced research was required to do this. But yeah, there we go. That's fun. We'll get some free stuff, which is nice. Actually, a nice chunk of free stuff. That's a fun little quiz. Yeah, I think stuff like that's quite fun. You know, you might struggle with a couple. I think getting the score required wouldn't be too bad, honestly. There's a few very easy ones, and then a couple of harder ones. There was like 3 hard ones, which were about champion skills, and then there was like 4 really easy ones. So that's a fun little quiz. Right, there we go, guys. Let me know what you think about all this stuff. Again, the way I see it is really, you know, don't take it too serious. This summoning pool, that quiz, don't take it too seriously. You know, it's just a nice little bonus thing in the game. That's cool. I'll see y'all next time. Goodbye.